Greg Holmes has just finished hitting batting practice for the Florida Nationals. This is Calvin Castine. We are at Lefty Wilson Field in beautiful downtown Plattsburgh, New York. For Florida and Plattsburgh baseball, Clinton County Mariners, coached by Rob Knowles and Al Ryans. Florida Nationals will be going head-to-head. Our umpires today will be Bob Broomfield on your right and Irish John Ireland on our left. We'll be turning the microphone over to the able hands and voice of Mr. Rick Knowles.
Yeah, they don't have very many. They only have.
We don't need. Rick Knowles alongside the foremost baseball expert in the Champlain Valley, the commissioner of the Champlain Valley Baseball League, Harold LeClaire. And tonight, Harold, a matchup between the Florida Nationals and the Clinton County Mariners, and we expect a very good contest tonight.
Looks like it's going to be a good one. The Legion team always fields a good ball club, and from what I can see of the size from the Florida boys, this should be a very interesting game.
Let's take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's matchup. For the Florida Nationals, batting first will be the third baseman, JoJo Herndon. Batting second, the shortstop, Brian Stanton. Batting third, Will Schlitt, the second baseman. Ryan McCain will bat cleanup and play center field. The left fielder batting fifth is Vic Gonzalez. Kyle Schacht, first baseman, hits sixth. Pitcher Pat Hakey will bat seventh. Charlie Poorman, the right fielder, will bat eighth. And Eric Miller, the catcher, will bat ninth. For the Clinton County Mariners tonight, Ryan Miron leads off in center field. Mike Rivers will bat second at second base. Shortstop is Brandon Barcombe. He will hit in the 3-hole. And the cleanup hitter is first baseman Mike McNichols. Batting fifth is the pitcher Dave Waldron. Sixth batter is Mark Berto in left field. TJ Musa will bat seventh and play third base. The right fielder Steve Yeager hits eighth. And catching and batting ninth will be Greg Ludwig. Those are the lineups. We're just moments away from the first pitch, and we'll have it for you right here on Hometown Cable. JoJo Herndon steps to the plate for the Florida Nationals. Awaits the first pitch from Dave Waldron, and there were certainly heralded some threatening skies earlier this afternoon, but it's turned out to be a very good night for baseball.
Looks like the skies behind us are blue and a nice bright sun. Looks like we'll get this one in.
First pitch of the ball game is on the outside corner for a called strike. It's 0-1 to JoJo Herndon. Second pitch is low outside. 1-1. Waldron has 3 appearances on the season, 2 starts, 10 1/3 innings pitched, given up 10 hits, 5 earned runs. ERA of 3.39. Struck out 9 and walked 8. Record of 0-0 with no saves. The pitch, check swing, little roller back to the pitcher. Throws to first in time, and the first batter, Herndon, is out 1-3. So one down here in the top of the first, and it will bring up the Florida shortstop, Brian Stanton.
Get down then. Come on, we gotta get down. Vero deeper.
Florida is using Eric Miller from Moores as the local representative this year. Eric is on the Northeastern Clinton baseball team. Waldron's pitch is high and outside. Stanton squares to bunt, but takes low outside, ball 4. So the first base runner of the game goes via the walk. That's one thing you don't want to see early on, Harold, in baseball games is walks that can set your team behind, especially with the heart of the order coming up.
That's very true. Looks like Waldron has some pretty good velocity on the ball. He's just having a little problem finding the plate right now.
Will Schlitt steps in, swings and misses at the first pitch. Count 0-1.
Little light, know what you're doing.
Stanton, the runner at first, with one out here in the top of the first inning. Waldron comes to the set. And the 0-1 pitch, runner going, swing and a miss, throw down to second, is not in time. It was a good throw from the catcher, Ludwig, but got a good jump over at first base.
Had a real good jump from first. Catcher came out, threw a ball very quick, good release.
Now the count goes 0-2 on Schlitt. Schlitt is the Nationals' second baseman. The 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike three. And that is out number 2 of the top of the first. And that will bring up the cleanup hitter, Ryan McCain. Left-handed hitting center fielder.
Mike. Deep.
First pitch is upstairs for ball, 1-0. And if Waldron can get McCain here, should give his team a little bit of a boost getting into the bottom of the first, knowing they were able to hold him off the board.
Looks like he's throwing the ball very well. Took a little bit off that pitch. Had the batter a little bit full, looking for a fastball.
So the count 1-1 on Ryan McCain. A 1-1 pitch, that's high. And the count goes to 2-1. Stanton with a good lead off second. Shortstop thinks about going over. McCain swings and misses, and the count evens up at 2-2. The Nationals have had a very successful northern swing this year, of course, coached by a longtime veteran Al Ryan. That pitch is high and inside, brushed him back a little bit, and the count goes full. 3-2 on Ryan McCain. Of course, Al was one of the original friends of Abner Doubleday. That's how long he's been coaching baseball. Swing and a miss, strike three. McCain goes down. Waldron strikes out 2 in the inning to go along with the 1 walk. And after 1/2 inning of play, it's the Nationals nothing and the Mariners coming up. Ready to go here in the bottom of the first inning. Ryan Miron leads it off for the Mariners. Miron 20 for 55 on the season, a .364 average. 1 homer and 13 RBI. And he takes the first pitch down low for ball, 1-0. Pretty good looking hurler on the mound. Harold, tell us what you know about him.
Well, I understand he's originally from Fairfax, Vermont. He's a 19-year-old. Also understand that he plays Division I Troy State.
That is down in Georgia. Count evens up at 1-1 on Ryan Miron after that foul. So from the looks and the warm-ups and the early going, the Mariners may be in for a tough night tonight.
Yeah, this kid throws the ball very, very hard. Watch him throw a few pitches on the sidelines, and he's got some pretty good speed.
That one is in for a called strike. 1-2. Bob Broomfield, the umpire behind the plate tonight. John Ireland taking care of the bases. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Miron. Change up, misses outside. The count goes to 2-2. Mike Rivers on deck, and he'll be followed in the 3 spot by Brandon Barcombe. The 2-2 pitch. Curveball misses low, and the count goes to 3-2. Looked like Miron wanted to go for that one, but he wisely backed off.
From what I can see, he's got a real good breaking ball, and if he can control that and start getting it over the plate, he'll be very successful tonight. Payoff
Pitch had to be just outside. It was right at the letters. Didn't miss by much, but nonetheless, it's a leadoff walk for the Mariners.
That's a very tough one to take. If I'm the batter, I'm thinking about swinging on that one.
So Mike Rivers comes to the plate. Mike is 13 for 40 on the season, a 325 average, 3 homers, and 8 RBI. So 1 on, nobody out here in the bottom of the first inning. Rivers squares the bunt and fouls it off. Count 0-1. Surprised we're seeing bunting so early in the ballgame?
Well, to be honest with you, Rick, I don't think so. I think maybe Plattsburgh is thinking this is going to be a low-scoring ball game, and it looks like they're going to try to get that one-run lead.
Count 0-1 to Rivers. The pitch, again, thought about the bunt, but backed off as the pitch missed low and outside. It's 1-1. Bunted off the plate. It's going to roll foul. Count will go to 1-2. Well, Harold Leclerc has offered a $100 bonus to anybody that hits a home run off his truck tonight. Where did you park tonight?
Right in front of your car.
No, it's nowhere near it. I see it out there. It's in the danger zone. It's possible.
If they put one out there, that's probably worth $100.
Rick, anybody who breaks a window, car window tonight gets the Johnson's Auto Glass Player of the Game Award.
And 10% of the bill. The pitch is low, and count goes to 2-2. So with 2 strikes on the batter, the bunt appears to be off. And with a 2-2 count, we'll keep an eye on Miron at first base. Miron has stolen 2 on the season. Runner goes. Pitch is swung on and missed, and thrown not nearly in time. Huge jump Miron had.
He had a huge jump, and he very quick running those bases. Catcher probably could have kept that one, not even bothered to throw it.
Brandon Barcombe will come to the plate. Brandon's 27 for 61 on the season. It's a .443 batting average, 4 homers, 27 RBIs. So the Mariners with a runner in scoring position with 1 out here in the bottom of the first, and what so far is a scoreless game. The last couple of years we've seen these 2 teams get together. The matchup has not been close. The Mariners have had their way with the Florida Nationals, but this is a much different team this year that we've seen from Al Ryan. A little bit of older team and a little bit bigger team.
You know, I understand the average age is about 18 to 21. I understand he's got a few 21-year-olds stacked in that, but it looks like it's going to be a great ball game.
Pitch in for a called strike. No balls and a strike to Brandon Barcombe. Mike McNichols, the first baseman, on deck. Miron with a good lead off second base. Pitch is low and in the dirt. Miron will get down to third. That one hopped over the backstop. So now the Mariners are just a fly ball away from getting onto an early lead here in this contest.
Well, Brandon Barcombe is a good contact hitter. He's got quick hands. He's got a good eye for the ball. He'll hit the ball and put it in play.
He's the guy you want up there if you're the Mariners. He leads the team with 27 RBI this season. 1-1 the count, runner on third with just 1 out here in the bottom half of the first inning. The pitch swung on, grounded out to short. runner will score as Barcombe is out. So there's 2 down, but Barcombe picks up an RBI, and he does his job getting the runner home from third with less than 2 out.
Well, typically your number 3 hitter is your best athlete, and he's proven he can put the ball in play in most situations.
So that'll bring first baseman Mike McNichols to the plate. McNichols, 17 for 35, 486 average. He's got 3 dingers and 11 RBI. Batter steps out. Hakey apparently taking too much time for the liking of Mike McNichols. 1-0 the score here at Melissa Penfield Park. Something that we referred to on the high school football broadcast on Warrior last year as the Pen. The pitch to McNichols. Thought about it, but he was able to back off. They checked with the first baseman. Oh, the call from first base. John Ireland said he went around. No balls, 2 strikes to McNichols. The 0-2 swung on, popped up, but it'll go out of play. Catcher won't have a chance. And McNichols stays alive, but he's in a deep hole at 0-2.
It looks like Hakey has a very, very good curveball tonight. If he can, like I said earlier, if he can control that, get that consistently in the strike zone, he's going to be very effective late on.
So McNichols steps back in with the count 0-2. Dave Waldron on deck. He would be next, but McNichols has got to continue it. There's a sharp ground ball to second, scooped up and throw to first in time to retire the side. But the Mariners pick up 1 run without the benefit of a base hit and will go to the top of the second. It's the Mariners 1 and the Florida Nationals nothing.
Let's go.
Ready for the top half of the second. Vic Gonzalez, the left fielder, will lead off for the Florida Nationals. They trail the Mariners by a score of 1-0. And we got some reports, Harold, during the break that Hakey already hitting 90 on the radar gun.
Well, the Mariners are known as a good fastball hitting team, so they'll get their licks tonight.
You sure that 90 wasn't one of the curves?
Well, that's a real good possibility because he does have a good curveball.
Ball and 2 strikes on Gonzalez. Kyle Schacht and Pat Hakey will follow. The 1-2 pitch, that's low, and the count goes to 2-2. Upstairs and a full count. 3-2. The last thing they want here is to walk the leadoff hitter after you've taken the lead. There's a line drive foul down the left field line. And the count remains full at 3-2. Payoff pitch, swung on, grounded to third. Scooped up, dropped, throw to first is in time. So TJ Musaw, after making the early bobble, able to recover and throw out Gonzalez by a couple of steps.
Did a good job knocking it down, keeping it in his head, stayed with the play, made a very good throw to first.
And that will bring Kyle Schacht to the plate. Kyle, the first baseman for the Nationals. Waldron's first pitch is upstairs, ball 1. Swing and a miss, 1-1. Hope you're enjoying Hometown Cable's coverage of this contest between the Clinton County Mariners and the Florida Nationals. Curveball misses, 2-1. That pitch in for a called strike. And the count goes to 2-2 on Schacht. Two-two pitch outside, 3-2. Waldron's payoff pitch swung on, grounded to short. Throw to first is in time. Got him by half a step. So good speed from Kyle Schacht down the line, but a good throw to get him at first.
Defensively, the Mariners have a very solid infield. That gives the pitcher a lot of confidence.
Brandon Barcombe, the shortstop, knew he had plenty of time. Made the nice strong throw to first. And Waldron looking for a 1-2-3 inning, but to get that, he'll have to retire Pat Hakey. Here's the pitch swung on, popped up, and he should get out of the inning. Third baseman calls it, and Musa makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. 3 up, 3 down in the top of the second. We'll go to the bottom. It's the Mariners 1 and the Nationals nothing. Dave Waldron leads things off here in the last half of the second inning. Waldron 21 for 47. That's a 447 clip. 1 homer and 16 RBI. First pitch from Hakey is low and in the dirt, 1-0. Well, Harold, I don't see the goodwill ambassador of baseball in the Champlain Valley, John Coyer from the Press Republican, not in attendance tonight.
That's a surprise, because usually where there's a ball game, you can find Mr. Coyer hanging around.
The 1-0 pitch fouled off the plate. Count goes to 1-1. John, one of the all-time greatest players in CVBL history. Just ask him, he'll tell you.
That's very true. And speaking of the CVBL, looks like the Mariners are off to a great start behind the good coaching of Robbie Knowles. They have a 19-3 record coming in tonight's game. Their only loss to an American Legion opponent was Amsterdam, but the other 2 losses are to the CVBL reigning champions, the CR Toons Mudhens. And I understand that Florida is in Lion Mountain tomorrow night to play the league-leading 13-1 Lion Mountain Miners.
Waldron pops this one up to the first baseman. Had to do 2 steps over there, but Kyle Schacht able to put it away for the first out here in the second inning. Mark Berto will come to the plate. He's 11 for 33. That's a 333 clip. 1 homer and 6 RBI. You've got your playoffs coming up in the next few weeks in the Champlain Valley Baseball League season, so a busy season for the commish.
It has been a very interesting one with all this rain we've been getting, but local weather people tell me that we might get the final weekend of the season in this weekend, and hopefully the playoffs will start on time next week.
1-0 the count on the Mariner left fielder Mark Berto. One-0 pitch, right down the middle for a called strike. It's 1-1. Third baseman T.J. Musa on deck. Lights have come on here at Melissa Penfield Park. As Calvin reminds us, Lefty Wilson Field at Melissa Penfield Park. All I need now is a corporate sponsor. Lefty Wilson Field at Melissa Penfield Park by Bombardier. I can see it now. If Dan Stewart's watching this, he's probably already got the deal done already.
Yeah, Dan's done a lot for the city of Plattsburgh. The residents should be proud.
The pitch, swing and a miss. And that is the second out of the inning. Second strikeout of the game for Pat Hakey. And Musa will come to the plate, the third baseman for the Mariners. He's 8 for 23 on the season, 348 average, 3 taters, and 10 RBI. First pitch. This had to be a little bit outside. One thing from this angle, Harold, it's tough to see exactly locations inside, outside. You can get a good angle at the height of the pitch.
Yeah, he's pretty consistently around the plate. I think the ones that he's missing on are probably 4 to 6 inches off the plate. I've seen the Legion team play a few games this year, and Mr. Musso has some pretty good power, so this could be a good matchup here.
2-0 the count. 2 down, nobody on here in the last half of the second. The Mariners got that leadoff walk to Ryan Miron. He stole second, went to third on a wild pitch, and scored on a ground out to the shortstop. We have yet to see our first hit of the ball game. Both teams are in the 0 category in terms of hits. 2-1 now, the count on Musa. The 2-1 swung on and lined foul down the right field line. 318 down the right field line here at Lefty Wilson Park. Lefty Wilson Field at Melissa Penfield Park. 327 to straightaway center. 326 down the left field line, and about 385 to Harold's truck in the $100 bonus. Grounded to short. Throw to first is in time, and it's a 1-2-3 inning for Pat Hakey. We'll go to the third. It's the Mariners 1 and the Nationals nothing.
8-9-1.
Charlie Perman leads things off for the Nationals here in the top of the third inning. Perman, the right fielder. Number 20 on the back of the jersey. Takes the first pitch upstairs for a ball. It's 1-0. Waldron threw 2, has walked 1, and struck out 2. Perman waves at that one. The count goes to 1-1. Squares the bunt, fouls that to the backstop, and the count goes to 1-2. Perman, the 8th place hitter in the lineup for the Florida Nationals. Eric Miller will be next. He's the player from Morris who sees action on the Northeastern Clinton Cougar baseball team, so Mariner coach Rob Knowles quite familiar with him.
Coach of the year?
Yes, Calvin, he was named Coach of the Year at Northeastern Clinton for the CVAC baseball. I guess it was the Cougars' best record in baseball in quite some time. Calvin, you're more of the Northeastern sports expert. How long has it been since they had this good a record?
2 years. I don't know.
I think it was a little more than that. So Waldron records his 3rd strikeout of the game. And now he'll face catcher Eric Miller. Miller squares the bunt, misses at it, and the count's going to go to 0-2. Well, we saw the leadoff hitter in this inning try to bunt. Now we've seen Miller try to bunt.
Well, I'll tell you, Waldron is throwing a very, very good ball game. We could have a good pitcher's duel, but may not last too many more innings because with the Alex Turner tournament coming up this weekend, I'm sure Mr. Knowles is going to make sure he doesn't throw a whole lot of innings and so he can save them for this weekend.
Waldron's pitch just misses. Certainly the bench wanted that one.
Oh, yes. A lot of groaning over there, and I don't know if I could argue that one. It looked like a real good pitch from here.
2-2 is the count to Miller. 2-2 pitch, swing and a miss, strike three. Second consecutive strikeout for Waldron, and his fourth. He'll try and strike out the side as he faces JoJo Herndon, the third baseman. He's 0 for 1. A little comebacker back to Waldron to start the ball game. That certainly was a nice little bender.
He has a very good bender, and if he keeps pitching the way he is, I think Florida is in for a rude awakening this evening.
The 0-1 pitch did not offer at it. Count goes to 1-1. They checked with John Ireland, and John right on top of things down at first. Count stays at 1-1. Pitch misses outside. Count goes to 2-1. Waldron has retired the last 7 batters. Herndon steps out. And the pitch, that's high. Waldron is 1 pitch away from his second walk of the ball game. 3-1 pitch, that's catches the inside corner. And the count goes full, 3-2 to JoJo Herndon. Payoff pitch, another comebacker to the mound. Waldron scoops it up, throws to first, and another 1-2-3 inning. That's 8 in a row retired by Waldron. We'll go to the bottom of the third. The Mariners 1, the Nationals nothing. Steve Yeager will lead things off for the Mariners here in the bottom of the third inning. The right fielder, 11 for 33 in the season, 333 average. Still looking for his first homer, and he's got 9 RBI. Of course, Steve had a long career with the Los Angeles Dodgers as a catcher.
Yes, he did, but this might be one of his sons, maybe.
Oh, it's not the same one?
No, I don't believe so.
Oh. Hickey on the mound for the Nationals has walked 1 and struck out a couple. He, as Waldron has yet to allow a hit. Pitch in for a called strike to Yeager. Catcher Greg Ludwig on deck. Calvin is doing a dance with the camera. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. And the count's going to go to 1-2 on Yeager. Popped up, foul, out of play. Well, Harold, do you have any special birthday announcements or anything like that you want to get in? Tell us any special food you had for dinner tonight?
Well, actually, I went right from work to here. Didn't get a chance to have any dinner because rumor had it was you were paying for my dinner on the way home.
That was Calvin. See, I didn't have any dinner either.
We can still call and reserve a couple places at the Butcher Block.
That would be nice. I'm sure Calvin has his own personal table up there.
After the game, you guys can have all the horse hide you can eat.
The pitch, line shot up the middle. That's going to be the first base hit of the ball game.
Fought that ball off very well. It looked like an inside pitch. He went inside out with it and did a very good job getting the bat on it.
So a runner on first with no out. Catcher Greg Ludwig coming to the plate. He's 6 for 32, 188, no homers, 1 RBI. Can you say bunt?
Bunt.
Well, the Nationals don't expect it quite yet. They don't have the third baseman in. Obvious bunting situation. Squares to bunt. Throw to first. Throw had been a little bit closer to the bag. They had him.
Yeah, I don't believe Mr. Yeager has a whole lot of speed down there, but if he could bunt one down the first baseline, I'm thinking he's got a good shot at getting over in scoring position.
And with the top of the order coming up next with Miron and then Rivers, they take a shot with one out. And those two guys coming up. It's a nice bunt. It's going to make the pitcher field it, throw to first, barely gets him. It was an anxious moment there as the throw from Hakey nearly went right into the leg of the base runner.
Excellent bunt. Perfect place to put it is down the first base side, and like you say, make the pitcher field the ball. Very nicely done.
So what it does is move Yeager into scoring position with just one out during the last of the third inning. Miron will come to the plate. He has scored the Mariners' only run, walked, and stole second. Went to third on a wild pitch, and scored on the Brandon Barcombe ground out. Here's the pitch. That's low. And the count 1-0 to Miron. Not that big of a lead for Yeager. That pitch catches the outside corner. And the count goes to 1-1. Again, not that much of a lead for Yeager. Second baseman cheating over a little bit toward the bag. Swung on, popped up out of play.
All right, pick us up now. Come on.
Count now 1-2 on the left-handed hitting Ryan Miron. Again, it's a short lead for Yeager. Pitcher steps off as both the second baseman and the shortstop were dancing around. They want to keep him as close as possible, try to prevent him from scoring on a base hit.
Well, a base hit in this field, you know, with the outfield being so shallow, it'd have to be a little blooper to score him. Oh, hit on the foot, dead ball.
So Miron gets hit with the curveball. He's still yet to have an official at bat. And the Mariners now with a couple of runners on base with one out. And Mike Rivers coming to the plate. Rivers struck out his first at bat. I'm sure the Mariners would like to see Rivers manage to try and get on base here and possibly load him up for the 3 and 4 hitters in Brandon Barcombe and Mike McNichols coming up.
Yeah, I don't think you could ask for two better hitters. Barcombe, very, very good contact hitter. McNichols, both have a lot of power. One swing could make this a very interesting ball game. Could make it a 5-1 game very quick.
That pitch just misses. Hakey took a second look in at the umpire after that pitch, but nonetheless, it's ball one. Runners at first and second. 1-0 pitch. Rivers swings, hits it to third, through the legs of the third baseman into left field. Runner from third on his way home. Here comes the throw. It's not in time. And the Mariners take a 2-0 lead.
Ball took a funny hop, came off the front of the grass, and those of you that have ever played or watched ball games down here know that this infield can be vicious to an infielder.
Still got to block that ball with a runner on second base to prevent that runner from scoring.
You need to give up the body. Got to knock it down, at least keep the ball in front of you.
Oh, we will score that an error on the third baseman. And now with one run in here, it'll bring up Barcombe. He had the Mariner RBI in the first inning. He takes the first pitch, high and outside, 1-0. So a big blast here can put his team up 5-0, and with what we've seen of the Mariner pitching so far, it could be a long road to climb for the Florida Nationals.
Waldron's thrown the ball very, very well. It'll be curious to see how many innings Rob Knowles lets him go, but if he decides to let him go the distance, you're right. It could be a long evening for the Florida team.
Waldron has only pitched in 3 games this season, a couple of starts, for a total of just 10 1/3 innings. Barcombe takes that pitch outside. Mike McNichols on deck. The pitch is low. Oh no, a late call, called strike. That one definitely looked low.
Well, I guess when it's 3-0, nothing is definite anymore in this game. That ball did look about 6 inches below the knees, but when you're a hitter, you got to be looking.
Not using the hometown cable strike zone tonight, where it shows you where the pitch crosses the plate. There's a line shot into left field. That's going to be a fair ball. 1 run will score. Runner from first will have to stay at third, and Barcombe was in at second with a stand-up double.
I think Barcombe right now is thankful the umpire called that last one a strike, give him a chance to swing the bat.
So Brandon Barcombe has driven in 2, and the Mariners now lead it 3-0.
Come on, keep it going, kid. We got down here.
And McNichols, who's 0 for 1, comes to the plate. Three nothing M's, trying to add a couple more. 2 runners in scoring position with still just 1 out here in the last half of the 3rd inning. The pitch, and that's high. And the count goes to 2-0. So in this 3rd inning, Hakey is starting to struggle a bit.
He's beginning to struggle, finding a little difficult and locating the ball where he'd like to. The Mariners are in a very, very good position. They could make the rest of this game easy on themselves. 2nd and 3rd with just 1 out and 2 very, very deadly hitters.
Swing and a miss. That was a good curveball.
That was a great curveball. Said earlier, he had a good curveball working for him. If he can control it and get it over the plate, that'll make his fastball look a little faster than 90.
Nichols way off balance on that one. The 1-2 pitch. Line shot into center. 1 run will score. Here comes the runner from second. Barcombe will slide safely, and it's 5-0.
Great contact, stayed with the pitch. A great at-bat.
McNichols with a couple of ribbies on a line drive single to center. All of a sudden, the Mariners have broken this one open 5-0 and a trip to the mound.
Well, the Mariners have been known as a fastball hitting team, and they certainly have displayed it. I believe most of the hits they've been getting have been on that fastball.
So Greg Holmes has made his way back to the dugout as the Nationals look to get out of this without any more damage done. 4 runs by virtue of 3 hits, an error, and a hit batsman. Waldron swings and misses. He's 0 for 1, popped out to the first baseman to start the 2nd inning. He is the 7th batter to hit here in the bottom of the 3rd inning for the M's. Oh, 1 pitch, low and in the dirt. McNichols will advance down to second. A little bit of a delayed reaction over at first base before McNichols took off.
I'm not real sure he knew exactly where the ball was. But again, that's the coaches yelling at responsibility over here, and I think he woke him up.
Now another runner gets into scoring position with Less than 2 out. Waldron swings and misses. Count goes to 1-2. Mark Berto on deck for the Mariners. Pitch is high. Count goes to 2-2. Nichols, the runner on second. Waldron steps out. Takes a look down at third base. Temperature seems to have dropped quite a bit these last few minutes, almost like football weather.
Well, it's definitely fall weather. Slaps one down, went with the pitch. Oh, umpire calls out foul. Maybe we can get that on instant replay.
Well, they tried to steal that one. First base coach Spencer Graves was signaling fair, but it looked foul from this angle. Deadeye Castine on camera. What did you think, Calvin?
I think Bob Broomfield has the best view in the house.
That's a Calvin Castine answer.
Very non-committal.
Come on, Dave.
The pitch. Little bloop to the shortstop. He'll make the easy catch. And that'll be out number 2 of inning number 3. And now Mark Berto will try to get the runner home from second base with 2 out. Mariners have got 4, and they lead it 5-0. We did not have a hit in the ball game till this bottom of the 3rd inning. The Mariners have a double from Barcombe, a single from McNichols, and a single from Yeager. The pitch, swing, gonna miss some nice low heat.
Looks like the home plate is kind of in a shadow right now, so that's got to be tough. Pitcher's throwing the ball out of the sunlight. It's probably hard for the hitter to pick that ball up right now.
The 0-1 pitch, that low and there. Nice job by the catcher, Eric Miller, to get in front of that one and prevent the runner from advancing to third base.
Did a great job. Did what he had to do, knock it down, keep it in front of him.
Here's the 1-1. That's low. That one gets behind Miller. And McNichols will easily trot down to third base. Trot may have been the perfect description.
Yeah, that definitely was not a speed running over there.
TJ Musa on deck for the M's if Berto can continue the inning. Here's the pitch, swing and a miss. And the count goes to 2-2. The 2-2 sidearm delivery inside, and the count will be full. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss. Berto strikes out for the second time. It's the 3rd strikeout of the game for Hakey. But the Mariners get 4 runs on 3 hits. There was 1 Florida National error, and the Mariners left a runner at 3rd. We'll go to the top of the 4th. It's the Clinton County Mariners 5 and the Florida Nationals nothing. Waldron back to the mound for the Mariners to face the 2, 3, 4 hitters in the lineup for the Florida Nationals. Brian Stanton, Will Schlitt, and Ryan McCain. And you would think, Harold, with 2, 3, 4 coming up, this is a big inning for the Nationals if they want to try and claw back a little bit in this baseball contest.
This is a big inning for both ball clubs. The Mariners just scored 4 runs, so they're looking on their pitcher to go out there and throw strikes. Hopefully the defense can do their job behind him. And you're right, 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up. This is a big inning for Florida. They need to do something.
Home plate umpire Bob Broomfield making an adjustment to his mask as he took that last pitch that bounced in the dirt off the mask. So we have a brief delay. That pitch fouled back.
On our toes defensively now.
You never know what you're going to hear when the cameras are off here at Lefty Wilson Field at Melissa Penfield Park.
That's very true.
Here's Waldron's pitch. That's high upstairs. And the count goes to 2-2. 2-2 pitch. Bounced off the plate. They'll have to hurry. Throw to first. Low, but they got him by a step.
Fields his position very well. Threw the ball a little bit low. Did a great job scooping the ball up there at first base.
Way to field your position, Dave.
So Waldron to McNichols. Retires Brian Stanton. And it'll bring up second baseman Will Schlitt. He's 0 for 1. Struck out his first at bat. Waldron has now retired 9 in a row. The pitch, that one's bounced off the plate, but that's going to roll foul. Count is 0-1.
Nice rhythm, Dave. Nice rhythm, Dave.
This is also the time, Harold, of the game where it's tough for the first baseman when he gets over to the bag. He's looking directly to that tough sun.
I was just noticing that on that throw. He's got his glasses on.
And we'll see how this happens. And safe. The throw pulled him off the bag. So Schlitt reaches. Definitely the throw was in time, but it pulled the first baseman off the bag. And I really think he had a hard time seeing that one. So we'll let an error on the throw.
Yeah, I agree. Good throw would have had him by probably a step, but it's got to be very difficult picking that ball up over there.
And talk about a timely comment, Rick. You're incredible sometimes.
Thank you. I've heard that before. Does that mean I'll get a raise next game, Calvin? McCain struck out his first at bat. 1 on and 1 out here in the top of the fourth. Nationals trail by 5. There's the ground ball in the hole. Scooped up at second. Throw to first is in time.
Nice play, Mike. Nice play, Mike. Good range.
2 down as Mike Rivers showed some pretty good range, ranging over to the hole, cutting that ball off and throwing out Ryan McCain.
Did a good job on that. He was moving to his left, the only possible play that he did have, but he made the play. You're up 5 runs and you need to get the outs.
So Vic Gonzalez, the left fielder, will come to the plate. 2 down. And Schlitt, the runner at second. Nationals still looking for their first hit of the ball game. 1-0 the count to Vic Gonzalez.
Make a play. On our toes now.
There's a fly ball to left. Ball is hooking, but it is caught. The error does not come back to hurt the Mariners. No runs, no hits. Nationals leave a runner on. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning. It's the Mariners 5 and the Nationals nothing. Ready to go with the bottom of the fourth inning. Musaw, Yeager, and Ludwig, the scheduled hitters for the Mariners. They've got the 5-0 lead. Hickey's first pitch is low, 1-0. Pitch well outside, 2-0. And one thing this early performance in this game has got to do, Harold, with all the great things we've heard about this pitcher from Division I, Troy State, down in Georgia, 90-plus mile-an-hour thrower, it's going to give the Mariners some confidence going into this weekend's Alex Turner Memorial Tournament.
Yeah, I agree with that. This kid is throwing the ball very, very hard, but the Mariners seem to be grooved on his fastball. They're still having a little difficulty with his curveball, but they are a very good hitting team, and their record speaks for it. They're 19-3.
2-1, the count. Now on Musa. The pitch is low and outside, 3-1. Pitch misses inside, and the Mariners start things off here in the bottom of the fourth with a leadoff walk, and it will bring up Steve Yeager. Yeager had the first hit of the ball game to lead off the third inning, and he came around to score. We appear to have a pinch runner going in for Musa. That is Brian Longshore. One on, nobody out here in the bottom of the fourth. Hakey steps off. Yeager awaits the first pitch. Pitch is called strike. The pitch was well outside. Obviously, they're ruling that Yeager attempted to swing.
Well outside, and I thought it was fairly low myself.
There is action in the Mariner bullpen. So we may have a pitching change to start the top of the fifth inning. That pitch is upstairs. Throw to second. He is high. Good throw, had him.
Wow, he kind of nonchalanted his base running on that. A good throw would have definitely nailed him.
If you need a man to move a refrigerator, I think we found one.
That was Calvin Castine. Send your letters and complaints to Calvin Castine, care of Hometown Cable, Champlain, New York. OU 812. Pitch fouled back to the screen. What's wrong, Harold?
No comment.
Brian Longshore at second with nobody out. Yeager at the plate. Ludwig on deck. Thought about it. Wisely held up. And the count now goes to 3-1, or 3-2 rather. Payoff pitch called a strike. Yeager down on strikes for the first out of the fourth inning. That is the fourth strikeout of the game for Mike Rivers, and that pitch looked like it was right at the knees.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised at his reaction on that. That ball looked like it was a very good pitch, knee high, right across the middle of the plate.
Ludwig laid down the nice bunt down the first base line to advance Yeager in the bottom of the third inning. Here comes Longshore to third. He'll reach standing up. And now, fly ball here can put the Mariners up by 6.
Yeah, the pitcher seems to be a little bit rattled in the last couple innings. I think giving up 4 runs after a one-run ball game, giving up 4 quick runs, he's a little bit off his game right now. He's thrown a lot of high pitches and a lot of them bouncing in the dirt.
This has got to be pretty much of a shock for the Nationals. They've pretty much run roughshod over all their competition so far in their northern swing.
They don't have anybody working in the bullpen, but from what I can see, there's nobody in the bench over there to go throw.
Leadoff hitter Ryan Miron is on deck for the Mariners. Pitch called strike on the outside corner, and the count goes to 1-2. Time called as Ludwig steps out. At least a good half of the pen. If you're going to drop your pen, you want to drop the cap. Wow.
That was not a real pretty swing.
Yeah, that's not one they're going to want to watch over and over again. You will not see that on the Greg Ludwig highlight tape.
Well, you talk about editing. That might be a good case for that one.
Also going to run to first. He does a drop third strike.
So now it will be up to Ryan Miron to get Ryan Longshore home. 5-0 is our score here in the bottom of the 4th inning. Miron, line shot through the third baseman into left field for a base hit. Miron picks up an RBI as that ball was tattooed.
That ball was hit very, very hard. Third baseman didn't have a prayer on catching that one.
So that makes it 6-0. And it brings Mike Rivers to the plate. Rivers is 0 for 2. Struck out and reached on an error. He's also scored a run. Miron goes. Throw to second is not in time. Now, Miron didn't have as good a jump this time, but some good speed got him in there to second base.
He's very quick once he gets that first or second step out of the way. Catcher was a little bit slow coming up with the ball, but it was a good throw down there, but very, very good speed.
Here's the pitch. That one's to the backstop, and Miron will advance to third without a throw. So now, Hakey's got to be careful. Doesn't want another wild pitch here. That could allow the runner to score.
Catcher's had a very tough time behind the plate these last 2 innings. Hakey's been all over the plate, very inconsistent.
Nice stop there for Miller to prevent that one from going to the backstop on another pitch in the dirt. And you don't want to walk Mike Rivers here with Brandon Barcombe standing in the on-deck circle.
That's very true. Brandon, one of the best hitters on the ball club.
The pitch, that's low, and he will walk him. Rivers reaches for the second straight time, this time by the walk. And here comes Barcombe. Barcombe's 1 for 2, grounded out to short, and reached on a single, and he's got a couple of RBI. Runners at the corner with a couple of out here in the last half of the 4th inning. Clinton County Mariners 6, the Nationals zip. That one low and in the dirt. Miller was able to get a piece of it to prevent him from going to the backstop and keep Rivers out of scoring position.
Had a little help from the umpire on that one, too.
And again, the batter steps out. We've seen that quite a bit tonight.
Yeah, it looks like the pitcher's trying to get into a specific groove, and the batters just are not going to give in and let him do that. They're going to set their own pace.
That pitch is way outside. I don't know if that was an attempted pitch out or what. Maybe they thought something was on with Rivers on his way to second, but it was well over the head of Miller.
I think that's one that just got away from him.
Good secondary, zone 1. Come on.
2-0 the count. The Nationals rather aren't really in the position to walk Barcombe with cleanup hitter McNichols coming up next. But swings at that one, pops it up out of play. Count goes to 2-1. Calvin with a shot of some of the fans here at Lefty Wilson Field at Melissa Penfield Park by Hometown Cable. And there we are. Quickly. The 2-1 pitch, that's low, gets behind the catcher. Bob Broomfield doing a little bit of a dance with Eric Miller behind the plate.
Yeah, that was an interesting thing back there, but the coach at third is doing the right thing, holding the runner, because he don't believe he could get by the catcher. Is this Airborne? Airborne Speedway, right here in Plattsburgh.
Our cars go faster than that. Sound like it, though. 3-1 is the count. It's low, ball 4. And the Sacks are drunk. Speaking of Airborne Raceway, they had a big ACT Dodge Tour event a couple of nights ago, and a Northern Tier guy won it. Morris Forks driver Mark Lamberton picked up a big win, his second career ACT victory, first victory of the season. I'm sure all the people up in Champlain and Morris quite happy over that. Now McNichols steps out. McNichols grounded out to second and had a couple of RBI with a line shot single in that 4-run Mariner third inning. They got one here in the fourth, 3 walks and a base hit. Pitch is low, ball 1. Ever since retiring 6 in a row in the first and second inning, we've seen Hakey struggle mightily.
Yeah, he's not the pitcher that we first saw in the first couple innings. Rumor had it he was throwing in the 90s. He does have good velocity on it, but
That is belted right to the shortstop, and Speedy Gonzalez throws him out at second. That'll retire the side. Mariners leave him loaded. They get a run on 1 hit. We'll go to the 5th. Clinton County 6 and Florida Nationals nothing. Ready to go to start the 5th. A couple of defensive changes to tell you about. New third baseman for the Mariners is Cliff Connors, and the new left fielder is Nate Brown. Kyle Schacht over one of the ball game, as the Nationals still looking for their first hit of the game. It'll be Schacht, Hakey, and Perman here in the top of the 5th inning. That one was about a 57.5-foot curve.
you're very generous on that one. He's got a 6-run lead, so he knows what his job is. He's got to throw strikes, work ahead of the hitters.
2-1 the count. Batters 6, 7, and 8 in the order. Pitch misses outside, 3-1.
Come on back, man. Come on.
Don't want to walk anybody here, Harold, and give the Nationals any glimmer of possible hope.
First out's always the hard one.
Pitch is high. And Schacht leads off the 5th with a walk. It's just the second walk of the ball game for Waldron to go along with 4 strikeouts. Something interesting of note, in addition to the 4 strikeouts, there have also been 3 1-3 groundouts. So Waldron has a busy night on the field as well.
He obviously has learned to field his position very well.
do with it.
Hakey popped the third baseman, his previous plate appearance. That one's off the glove. And Ludwig chases it down. Not before Shack reaches second base. Maybe we're starting to see the first signs of Waldron tiring a little bit. He's only pitched 10 1/3 innings in the season coming into this contest.
Yeah, his pitches are beginning to get up a little bit high. That is a sign of tiredness, and it looks like the Mariners are warming somebody up in the bullpen.
Spencer Graves on his way to the mound for a conversation, and unless Waldron can get his control back, we may be in store for pitching change very quickly.
That's very true. This is a good idea early in this count to have somebody go out there and just make him realize again that he's got 8 other ball players behind him and just throw strikes and let the defense do their work.
The pitch to Hakey, and that misses inside. Didn't miss by much, but the count 3-1. And Waldron maybe one more pitch away from having an exit in this game.
Yeah, he looked a little bit disgusted with the call on the umpire in that one, but he's got to stay within the game. That was a good pitch. He came back and did what he had to do. He had to come back and throw strikes.
Hakey way behind it on that swing. Count is full. Payoff pitch, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Waldron battles back from being down on the count to record his 5th strikeout of the game.
Did a great job coming back. Down 3-1. He looked a little disgusted in himself, and he just reached back and did a very good job. Come back, throw 2 consecutive strikes, got the out.
Charlie Perman struck out his first at bat. Takes the first pitch high and outside. He'll be followed by Eric Miller, who also was a strikeout victim back in the 3rd inning. Swings and misses at that one. The count goes to 1-1. Out starting to run away from the Nationals here. They are running out of time if they want to get back into this game.
Yeah, they're down to 8 outs, and they've got to score something in this inning to make it a little bit closer.
If Waldron is able to retire the next 2 batters, the Nationals will have the top of the order to lead off the 6th. 2-1 now, the count on Charlie Perman, the right fielder. The pitch swung on and line foul down the left field line. There'll be no play. Getting closer to that green truck, Harold.
Yeah, somebody told him about that $100 bonus. I'm thinking he's probably gunning for that.
The 2-2 pitch popped up. That could be right in the middle of nowheres, man, but now the shortstop will have a play. Makes the catch.
Good talk, B. That's your ball.
Looked like that may carry a little more right into that little area where it's going to be tough play for the left fielder and a tough play for the shortstop, but Barcombe showed a lot of nice range getting over to make that catch.
Yeah, left fielder doesn't have a chance in that, but again, like you say, Barcombe has good range, and he got under that fairly quick.
So 2 down here in the 5th. And Miller is the batter. He takes the pitch upstairs for ball 1-0. The 1-0 pitch, swing and a miss.
Could have been 2-0 very easily. It looked like a high ball to me. Maybe a little bit over-aggressive on the batter's part.
Well, he may have struggled a bit with the control in this inning. It certainly looked as though Waldron has not lost anything in terms of velocity.
That's very true. He still is throwing the ball very, very hard.
1-2 now, the count on Eric Miller. JoJo Herndon, leadoff batter on deck. He would be next. Waldron gets the sign, pitches low, throw to third is not in time. It's over the head of Connors. And the Nationals are going to get on the board. Looked like a desperate situation there as Al Ryan didn't really have a lot of confidence that Eric Miller was going to be able to bring home the runner. So took a chance, sent the runner home, and a high throw from the catcher puts the Nationals on the scoreboard.
Well, you have a couple outs, and you've got your number 9 hitter on, so that's a good time to gamble.
2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch, that's high, 3-2. So though the Nationals have a run, they still don't have a hit. Leadoff walk frequently comes back to haunt, as it does in this inning. But Miller goes down on strikes for the second time. 1 run, no hits. Nobody left on. We go to the last of the 5th. The Mariners 6 and the Nationals 1. Ready to go at the bottom of the 5th inning. Knowles and Harold LeClaire, your hometown cable broadcasters for tonight's contest. Calvin T. Castine on camera, and the T stands for troublemaker.
Well, you know, he was just asking between innings what that bright emanating light was from the sidelines, and we did figure it out. If everybody can see, Rick's got a very interesting pair of shoes on that maybe Ronald McDonald might be looking for right about now. What do you think, Rick?
I have no comment. No comment whatsoever. They are comfortable, and that's all that matters.
You're right. As long as they're comfortable and you're wearing them, you're right.
Now just keep that hat on, Harold, because the lights have taken full effect. We don't have to worry about Calvin because he does have his toupee securely fastened.
Well, let's talk about hair while we're on the subject here, Rick.
Uh-oh. I had this before Mike Piazza. Calvin, let's get back to the game.
What is your natural hair color? I can't remember. Purple? I can't remember what your natural color is now.
Light brown.
Okay, thank you.
See, you can't do that to Harold because he doesn't have any.
But I do save on the shampoo bills.
Yes, Harold makes Telly Savalas look like Wolfman Jack. There's a pop-up out of play. See, look at what you started. Now everybody's saying bad stuff about everybody.
I'm sorry, John.
John?
Wow, shades of John Coyer. And he's still not here.
I'm just concerned that you get John Coyer on your mind. I think I'll move down a little bit away from you. Waldron lines one up the middle for a base hit. That's his first hit of the ball game, and he leads off the 5th with a single. And it'll bring Nate Brown to the plate for his first at bat. Six to 1 is our score here in the last of the 5th inning. Brown turned around, brought the bat back. Count is 1-0. The 0-1 from Hakey. High, 2-0. Hakey kicks at the dirt. I think he wanted that one, Harold.
Yeah, it looks like they're playing for that one more run to get back to that 6-run advantage.
Well, it's always good to be up by 6 because you'd force your opponents to get the extra point in order to take the lead.
That's a very good point.
Well, didn't we say earlier this was football weather?
Yes, it is.
Pitch low and in the dirt. Now 3-0. Cliff Connors on deck for the Mariners. And we have a bit of a problem with the catcher's glove. So we'll make a change. That is no longer Eric Miller catching for the Nationals. Vic Speedy Gonzalez is now behind the plate. Three and 0 the count on Brown. Pitch low and inside, ball 4. Now the Mariners have 2 runners on with nobody out. And that's going to prompt a visit to the mound by Florida pitching coach Greg Holmes. Well, the new pitcher for the Florida Nationals is Brian Wyckoff. He had gone into the game at first base. Now Hakey has gone over to play first. Connors thought about bunting, takes the pitch in for a strike. Connors didn't like the call. He thought it was high.
Well, between innings while this guy's warming up, one of the CVBL standouts from the Lion Mountain Miners, Tommy Kowalowski, happened to give us a visit here, and he's down here scouting for tomorrow night's ball game.
Oh, would you like to ask him what he thinks?
Sure. Tom, you want to step over here and tell us what you've seen so far?
I haven't seen much. I just got here, but it looks like the first guy threw really well. Had a little trouble with his curveball controlling it.
How has Harold Leclerc been as a commissioner in the CVBL? Tell us the real truth.
Very good, very good. No complaints with Harold.
How much did that cost you?
I'm thinking that $100 bonus.
You better say that in case somebody hits your car or the truck.
Tommy checks in the mail.
Connors at the plate with Yeager on deck. The pitch upstairs. Throw to second, goes into center field, but backed up nicely. And the runners will have to stay put. 6-1 is our score. The first 2 innings were played in roughly 20 minutes. Harold talked about what a pitcher's duel we were going to have, and it's been a little bit longer since.
Yes, it has. Waldron still throwing the ball very, very well. But Hakey had some problems in the third and fourth. Couldn't control the curveball, kind of got him in trouble.
Connors takes that pitch upstairs. Counts 2-2. Two-two pitch swung on, hit in the hole. That's gonna scooped up, throw it first in time. Thought that might find its way into right field, but again, good range from the part of the second baseman to get over there and throw out Connors by a step.
That was a great play by the second baseman. I really didn't think he would have a chance to get to the ball, but he showed pretty good speed, and the pitcher covering the bat.
Steve Yeager, 1 for 2 with a run scored. Greg Ludwig on deck. Swing and a miss.
Swing and strike, Steve. Come on, buddy.
That one right down Broadway. And the count is 0-2. Mariners got the first 2 runners on, but have yet to score here in the bottom of the 5th. Now there's 2 down as Yeager goes down looking.
He had 3 great pitches to swing at. All he had to do was pick 1 out of 3.
So it will be up to Greg Ludwig with 2 outs and a couple runners on. Mariners looking for some insurance. Got a 5-run lead as we are about ready to head to the 6th inning. Top of the order will be coming up next for the Mariners and Ryan Miron, if Ludwig can extend the inning. Pitch just misses outside. 2 balls and a strike. Wyckoff's 2-1 pitch. That's a called strike. Catches the outside corner. About the same spot as the previous pitch.
Yeah, Wyckoff seems to be throwing the ball pretty well. Throws not quite as hard as Hakey did, but he has pretty good control.
The 2-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. So Wyckoff comes in and mows down the side in order after the first 2 runners had reached base off Hakey. No runs, 1 hit, a couple of men left on base. We go to the top of the 6th. It's the Mariners 6 and the Nationals 1. Top of the 6th inning. Florida Nationals are down to their final 6 outs. They trail it 6-1. Rick Knowles, Harold LeClaire, and Calvin Castine from Lefty Wilson Field at Melissa Penfield Park. Swing and a miss. Waldron has been outstanding tonight. The story of the game, the line score for the Nationals. 1 run on no hits.
He's done a very, very good job for not pitching very much this year. That actually tells you how much depth that they have in the pitching staff. He's throwing the ball very well and has not started very many ball games.
Wouldn't it be something if your first game as a color analyst, you get to commentate on a no-hitter?
Yes, that would be great. And from what I'm hearing, it'd probably be my last game as a commentator.
Pitch is upstairs, and it's 2-2. Called strike 3. I think Harold's done a fine job so far, haven't you?
He shouldn't be so modest. There's no such thing as a commentator. I mean,
Do you have a response?
No.
There are a lot of commentators, especially in Idaho.
I have no.
I don't think I've ever left Castine speechless, but managed to do it tonight. Brian Stanton, the hitter, walked in the first and was out on a comeback to the pitcher in the 4th. And after struggling with his control early on in the 5th inning, Waldron has found the groove once again.
He's back in his groove. He's got a big job ahead of him this inning. He's got 1, 2, 3, 4 hitters coming up. If he gets through with this inning, I'm thinking you can put it in the books.
The pitch, that is low. Will Schlitt on deck. Ground ball. Barcombe with a nice stab. Quick throw to first. Got him. Big play.
Got him by half a step. Had him all the way, as they say. Great range. Absolutely great range.
And an outstanding throw. Well, now there are 4 outs remaining for the Nationals. And Will Schlitt struck out and reached on a throwing error in the 4th inning. It's one that it looked like the first baseman McNichols lost in the sun. First pitch in for a strike. The 0-1 called strike 2. And boy, Waldron really has got it back.
Yeah, he's found it. I think he smells the blood.
No balls, 2 strikes on Schlitt. The pitch upstairs. The count goes to 1-2. Tried to get him a chase, a pitch high and outside, but he would not go for it.
He might have the Mariners pitching staff considering using him a little bit more throughout the rest of the year.
The Mariners with their biggest games of the season still ahead of them. The district playoffs coming up end of July, and then hopefully for the Mariners, the state playoffs into the month of August. Two balls, 2 strikes. There's the count on Schlitt. There's a hard shot. Barcombe scoops it. Throw to first. Got him! Another big play by Brandon Barcombe to keep the no-hitter alive.
I think we're looking at the defensive player of the game at this point.
1, 2, 3 in the 6th. We go to the last of the 6th. The Mariners 6 and the Nationals 1. Bottom of the 6th inning and the top of the Mariners batting order. Ryan Miron, he's reached base all 3 times, walked and scored, was hit by a pitch and scored, and had an RBI single in the 4th. Wyckoff's pitch. Miron a little bit ahead of that one. He fouls it down the first base line. The line score for the Mariners. 6 runs on 5 hits for the Florida Nationals. 1 run on no hits. Pitch just misses outside. He wanted that one, and that one looked good.
Very, very questionable no call.
We've seen a pretty big strike zone tonight, but closed up a little bit on that one. That one pitch up and inside to Miron. He was able to bounce back. 2-2 the count. Or maybe he did call that a strike with his count being 2-2 now. Pitch is low, 3-2. Full count on Miron. Rivers is next. That one hit off the handle over the head of the first baseman into right field for a base hit. So Miron is 2 for 2. He's reached base all 4 times.
He fought that one off very nicely. Inside pitch, like you say, had it right on the handles, but did punch it out there.
So the leadoff man on here in the 6th inning for the M's, and Mike Rivers, the batter. Rivers is 0 for 2, struck out, reached on an error and scored, and walked. Back in the 4th, throw to first. Oh, gets past the first baseman, goes out of play. They had him picked off there.
They had him, but it looked like the ball might have hit the runner in the foot. Took an awful strange bounce over there.
Don't know how often Hakey plays first base, but he certainly did not play that like an experienced first baseman would.
No, you're right there. I don't think he's a seasoned first baseman.
Brandon Barcombe in the on-deck circle for the Mariners. Boy, going back to that top of the 6th inning, he made 2 outstanding defensive plays.
He's always been noted as a good defensive infielder. First time I've really seen him go that far to his right, knock the ball down, pick it up, and still throw the runner out. Absolutely great plays.
Miron, the runner at second. The pitch lined into center, right at the center fielder who makes the catch. Miron will have to retreat. And there is 1 out. And believe it or not, that is the first outfield put out of the ball game for the Nationals.
Well, that's an interesting statistic.
We have really not seen a lot of fly balls tonight. Let me see how many we got on the other side. Actually, no fly balls hit off the bats of the Nationals. So just 1 fly ball out in the entire game. You don't see that very often.
You're right. You don't see that very often. Definitely an infield game.
Barcombe swings and misses. He's 1 for 2. A couple of RBIs. Barcombe takes that pitch on the inside corner. He didn't think so.
Well, he's not the kind of hitter that you want to see him taking those pitches anyway. He's got a good stick, quick hands. You want him swinging the bat.
Wyckoff steps off.
Pick it up, Pete. Come on out. Pick it up.
Nationals trying to keep Miron close to second base. They don't want him scoring on a single. They're down 6-1 now, and they've only got 3 outs remaining.
5 runs are made to come back when you've got 3 outs, but if they scored 1 or 2 more here, you could just about put the nails through the coffin.
Barcombe swings and misses, and there are 2 out. 3rd strikeout of the game for Wyckoff. Wyckoff did a good job back in the 5th getting Hakey out of the jam. Retired the side in order after the first 2 men had reached against the starting pitcher. And now it's up to Mike McNichols. Miron still at second. And McNichols 1 for 3 in the game with a couple of RBI. Dave Waldron on deck. He would be next. The pitch swung on and lined deep to center. Center fielder back and makes the catch to retire the side. 2 line drive outs to the center fielder. Mean no runs in the 6th inning for the Mariners. No runs. A hit. They leave a man. We go to the top of the 7th. It's the Mariners 6 and the Nationals 1. Four, 5, 6 to lead off the 7th inning. 1 run, no hits for the Nationals. Waldron has been outstanding for the Mariners. The pitch popped up. This should be the first out of the inning. Waldron calls it and makes the catch. 1 down.
First out's always the big one. Now you're into your 5 and 6 innings.
And that will bring up the catcher, Vic, gone, Zales.
And Waldron is hoping he's going to stay in the park.
The pitch. In for a strike. Gonzalez 0 for 2. And you can just feel the tension. Line shot. Barcombe with a scoop. Throw to first in time. There are 2 down. And Waldron 1 out away from a no-hitter.
Looks like anything hit to the left side of the infield is going to be an automatic out. Barcombe fields position extremely well. Has a good strong arm.
It'll be up to Kyle Schacht. He's 0 for 1. He scored the lone run as he walked back in the 5th inning. Here's the pitch. Swung on, fouled back. It's 0-1. Waldron on the year had pitched 10 in the 3rd innings, given up 10 hits. Tonight, he's pitched 6 2/3, hasn't given up any. The 0-1, high, 1-1.
Still throwing the ball very hard. Top of the 7th. Has still good control on that curveball. Fastball's looking pretty good.
The 1-1 pitch, outside, 2-1. Well, he certainly looks pumped up here to this 7th inning.
I wonder if anybody's told him what's on the line.
I'm sure he knows. Sure he knows. Popped up, foul, and out of play, and we're 1 strike away. 2-2.
Thank you.
Pat Hakey on deck. He would be next. Waldron's 2-2 pitch upstairs, ball 3. Harold, the result of the game not really in question. It's just whether he's going to finish this off.
That's very true. Ball game is technically over. The only thing we're all looking for is a
3-2 pitch just misses outside. The hand went up from Bob Broomfield, and he did not go through with a call. Holy cow.
Yeah, arm went up, but second guessing himself. Should have been a called 3rd strike.
Wow. Wow. Waldron's going to have to get 22 outs in this one. And now Hakey will try to keep it going.
Who's off the first, Dave?
Wow. That's all you can say?
That's tough. When you're out there throwing as hard as you have, that's a tough pitch to have the umpire not call.
Runner goes. Throw to second is not in time. It's into center field. And here comes the runner to third. They got a shot at him if it's a good throw. And safe. Well, that certainly would be an interesting way to finish off a no-hitter.
Yes, it would. I think you got to go wind up and work on the hitter.
They've already lost the shutout. They shouldn't be worried about that guy at third.
Yeah, you're
Gotta get the out.
absolutely right. Concentrate on the batter.
Keep on the right side.
No balls and a strike to Pat Hakey. The 0-1 pitch, low and in the dirt. Nice scoop.
Come on, Dave. Come on, Dave. Focus on the hitter.
And the count stays even at 1-1. Waldron from the windup. The 1-1 pitch swung on, fouled back, and we're down to a strike away again.
Well, here we are again. 2 strikes on the batter. Let's hope this time it's not a call behind the plate. Hope the batter's swinging.
And I'll tell you what, anything close, they better be swinging because he's owed one.
Yes, he is.
Here's the 1-2 pitch, swung on, hit foul down the left field line. And they have run out of baseballs.
Dave, right here.
One ball, 2 strikes, 2 out. Top of the 7th. The Nationals 1 run on no hits. Waldron looks for the sign. The windup. The 1-2 pitch swung on and he just barely got a piece of it.
Hakey is he's staying in the game. But 1 and 2, I think I'd be throwing a deuce right now. He's got good control with that curveball. I'd be coming at him a couple times with that.
And he certainly has had him off balance. Looked bad on a couple of swings earlier in the contest. The 1-2 pitch swung on, popped up foul, out of play again. He'd need a ticket.
Look down, Dave. Look down, buddy.
So Hakey has fouled off 3 pitches since the count has gone to 1-2. Again, Waldron with a 1-2. Swung on and popped up. This could be in a no man's land, but Connors calls it, makes the catch, and Waldron has pitched a no-hitter.
Great ball game. He started off first couple innings, threw the ball well, and pitched a great ball game. Got a little bit stronger as he went.
So the Mariners' Dave Waldron has pitched in just 3 games, 10 1/3 innings all season long. No hits, the Florida Nationals, and the Mariners win it by a score of 6-1. We'll be back to wrap things up when we come back for more on Hometown Cable. For the Mariners, 6 runs, 6 hits, 1 error. The Florida Nationals, 1 run, no hits, 1 error. And Harold, the story of the game. First, the great pitching performance from Dave Waldron. He no hits the Florida Nationals.
Well, I think we have 2 great stories in this one. Waldron throwing the ball very well, kept the Nationals off balance most of the game, but I think he owes a nice dinner to his shortstop, Brandon Barcombe.
Certainly some great defensive plays from Barcombe throughout the game, but going back to that 6th inning when he made the 2 backhanded plays and the rifle guns to first base, narrowly edging out the Florida National base runners.
Well, Barcombe has always been a consistent infielder. He's a big, strong kid. Does have a very, very strong arm, very confident in himself, and he did look very good playing a shortstop position this evening.
Waldron walked 3 in the game and struck out 7. 1 run, it was unearned, and he did not allow any hits. Batting wise for the Mariners, Mike McNichols with a couple of RBI, Brandon Barcombe also with a couple of RBI. Ryan Miron had the other ribby for the Clinton County Mariners. Well, with tonight's win, the Mariners go to 20-3 on the season, and it's the first loss of the road trip for the Florida Nationals, who had been pretty much cleaning up on the competition before tonight's game.
They do have a very, very solid ball club. Saw a couple of their pitchers tonight. They both threw the curveball very well, both very hard fastball throwers. But again, as I stated earlier, the Mariners are a very good hitting fastball team.
Well, Mariner fans, we hope you enjoyed the broadcast. We know you enjoyed the outcome. That outcome once again, Clinton County 6, and the Florida Nationals won. For Calvin Castine, Harold LeClaire, I'm Rick Knowles. Have a good night, everybody.